What's going on, YouTube? This video is long overdue. This is basically my story. I've been through a lot in my life, and I kind of neglected that part of myself because I didn't really want to identify with the version of myself that's been through a lot of emotional like distress, and I want to consider it trauma because it could have been a lot worse. But then again, that's me, basically. Like I just said, like not identifying with how bad it really was, because I like to really like look at things in a different perspective and be like, yeah, like that it did suck. I was very depressed. I had suicidal thoughts, but I don't really tell many people that. But I feel like it's relevant now because I've become more and more aware of the mental health crisis that is going on in the world now, and how many kids are out there genuinely struggling to figure themselves out, figure out what they want to do, their relationships, with their work, with school. There's so much comparison going on in the world now. It's just so toxic for one's psyche. So yeah, this is my story. I'm gonna try not to make it too preachy. I'm gonna try to pull up like pictures and put them in this video so that you guys can have like visual like representations of where I was at in my life, and that like I wasn't handed anything. And it's crazy because I'll post videos about me living the life that I'm living in Miami now, and people they think that like I was handed everything. They think that my parents were rich, and they think that I'm trying to show them the life that I'm living to flex to them, and I hardly even flex. Like I feel like I have so many opportunities to flex, and I just don't, because like that's not gonna help anyone do anything. So I mean, I guess it really depends on where we want to take this, where we want to start. So I'll just start. Yeah. As a kid, I was always drawn towards adventure, doing crazy shit. I was definitely the problem child. I had never really listened. Like, ever since I came out of the womb, I never really listened to what my parents said to me. I'd always just kind of do what I wanted, and no one could really tell me otherwise. And if they did, I'd be like, well, that's stupid. Why? I would just question. I'd say, well, why don't I live life the way that I want to live? Why do I have to live life the way that you want me to live it? And I questioned that ever since I was a kid, So, going through school, my grades obviously sucked. Because I didn't like people telling me what to do. My parents got divorced when I was in 5th grade. That was an interesting time. But like I said, I was kind of just always like a lighthearted, happy kid. Never took things too seriously. Like when my parents got divorced, my mom cried when she told me, and I was happy about it because I was happy that they were happy, or my mom was doing what was best for her. And I thought it was cool that I would get 2 Christmases and 2 birthdays, and I would get to live in 2 different houses on both sides of the city, so that like if I was hanging out with friends over there, I could go over there. And long story short, it ended up complicating things way more than I would have hoped. So yeah, that happened. So my mom's mom died right after they got divorced, which sucked. I felt so bad for her, and it was just me and my mom home alone when she got the call that her mom died. So I was a 12-year-old kid, maybe I was 11, and I was the one that had to like basically witness that and take care of my mom when she got the phone call that her mom just died in a car accident. And I had to like tell her sister that her mom died because my mom couldn't talk. So yeah, that I kind of always try to brush that off too. A lot of the emotionally traumatic experiences in my life, like I've always kind of just told myself they weren't a big deal because I didn't want to like dwell on them and like allow myself to waste time thinking about them. So like you can see the common theme, reoccurring theme when I like talk about like how I was depressed and like these events. I was just like, yeah, it happened, because I don't want to dwell on them. So yeah, that happened. That was tough because I knew my mom literally just got divorced, and her mom died in a car accident. My grandma died in a car accident. So that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. So that was in 6th grade. Middle school was pretty normal, other than going back and forth from my parents' house all the fucking time. That would drive me nuts. My parents would like basically like fight over the kids. Um, that was hard too, having like a bad relationship with my dad, and like I was always a mama's boy, so like I would always take my mom's side over things, so I never really heard my dad out. So me and my dad didn't have a good relationship throughout all of high school. Then my mom, so like at the beginning of high school, it was really fun. My mom lived in my hometown, and I said, fuck it, I'm staying with you, Mom. Like, I don't want to go over to Dad's. This shit's just stressful. I'll go over there for dinner on Sundays sometimes. Because me and my dad literally just did not get along. Like, we did not see eye to eye on anything. But now it's to the point where he respects me because I can, like, maintain a conversation with him and make, like, valid points. And I'm articulate. And I'm an adult now. Like, I think, like, at the base of everything, a dad just wants his kid to succeed and to be a man. And at the time, I guess, like, he didn't really see that from me because I was just a fucking goon, so it makes sense. So we didn't have a good relationship. I lived with my mom. Then I got into like my first relationship when I was in high school, and it's crazy to like think back to my first relationship when I was my first one was when I was a freshman. And it's crazy to think back. Like right now it feels so insignificant, but in that moment it feels like it felt like everything. It felt like such a big deal. And then like I was just a fucking weird situation, and it was my fault for falling too deeply because I always was like a hopeless romantic, and I wanted to like fall in love so badly because I loved romantic movies, and then she ended up just hurting me like horribly. So then I started talking to this other girl sophomore year, and this was actually like a really healthy relationship for the most part. It was dope. We were like really in love. Really in love. And then she ended up like, she would hang out with one of my friends, like one of my good friends, and like this kid was like 5 foot tall, not really good looking, so I wasn't like threatened by him. They'd like go to breakfast and shit, and I thought he was just kind of gay. I thought he was gay, so I didn't really care. And then one day when me and her were fighting, he sends me a screenshot of her texting him saying that she has feelings for him. And then I tried to make it work with her for like a month after that, trying to like forgive her and shit, because she was like hot. I won't lie, like she was really hot. But I was the prize in that circumstance. Like she was crying all the time, saying like, "I'm sorry, I would never do that to you. I didn't mean it." All this shit. I just ended up breaking up with her. So, like a week later goes by. I'm going to Taco Bell with my little brother, and I see her car and his car at Starbucks together, and I literally couldn't even eat. I literally got the Taco Bell, and I couldn't eat it because I was so hurt. I texted her, I blew up on her, and yeah. So then I was pretty much petrified to get into a relationship ever again. So I basically just went on like a tear with my friends. That summer was probably one of the best summers I ever had. My junior year summer, because that was sophomore summer that happened. I spent the whole summer with the girl, and then I was like, fuck it, junior year summer, I'm spending the whole summer with the girl, and it was the best summer I ever had. Best summer ever. Because all my friends could drive. We were huge into smoking. Just started drinking. And it was just really fun. Innocent fun, you know? And then, so this girl I met when I was a junior, first day of junior year. She was a freshman, I know. But, like, that was a thing at my school. Like, the juniors just dated freshmen, I guess. You know, like, when you see someone for the first time and you look at them and you're like, you can just tell, like, that someone's going to be, like, you just have this, like, intuitive feeling. You're like, ah, shit. That's what happened. And this was, like, just when I broke up with the first girl, and when I met this girl. So, like, I didn't date her. I told her I wasn't going to date her. I told her I wasn't going to talk to her for, like, the longest time. This is junior year. So, like, her and I, like, talk as, like, friends, basically all of junior year. And she ends up going to my junior prom with me. She was a fucking freshman going to prom, which is crazy. And I still didn't date her. I still want to date her because of what happened in my last relationship. So this story, I'm not just like trying to dilly-dally with it. This is what took me into like my depression. And I know, like, I don't talk about it because it was basically induced by a relationship, but there was a lot that goes into it. And Like, I know you guys have probably heard me say in my videos that they're um, like I've been depressed before, but you never know why or what the extent of what happened. So I'm actually just gonna dive into it here. Um, so this girl was building up my trust and building up my trust and building up my trust for a really long time because she knew what happened to me in that first relationship and how I was like super scared about it, super scared to get into a relationship again, and I just like wanted to have fun. So senior year comes around. I talked to her all of junior summer. Like, we were hanging out, but never anything like too serious because I was like still scared and whatever. She was a kid, basically, because she was 16 and I was 18. Well, going on 18, about to be 18. So it was like a 2-year difference. And she's building my trust this whole time. And so senior year comes around, and one of my good friends, spent the whole summer with this dude. One of my good friends texts me and he goes, "Yo, are you still Oh shit! I literally have a white screen as my lamp right now because the lamp was too bright, and it just turned off." So he texts me, he goes, "Yo, are you still talking to blank?" And I'm like, "I mean, kinda, not really, but yeah, like, as in like she's off limits." And this is the type of dude where it's just like, if he asks you that, it's not good type shit, where it's like, this is like he was the shit in high school. I'll give it to him. Like, when we ran shit together, basically. He definitely was seen as the shit. So I was like, fuck. I was like, God damn it. So I wouldn't date her, so I couldn't control what she did. But I told her, I was like, "Yo, if you talk to this dude, like, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore." And she said, "All right, fine, I won't." I see that he comments on her Finsta post, and I'm like, "You don't just do that, like, you just don't do that shit, like that. You don't do that without like being friends with the person or whatever." So I dive deep. I dive into the situation. I find out that they were texting for like quite a long time, and I bring it up to him. And he goes, "Bro, like, if you don't want me to text her, just fucking date her then." I'm like, fuck. I felt cornered. I felt like I had to date her because I was, like, possessive over this girl. And I didn't want her to be with anyone else, but, like, I wasn't really ready to date. So I was like, fuck, I guess I have to. So I started taking her more seriously with the impression that they weren't talking. And they were. They were. Behind my back. Both of them lying to me. So he said that he wouldn't. She said that he wouldn't. She wouldn't. So they're both lying to me. And this is a lot of it's my fault. I made it a lot bigger deal than it needed to be. But it just led to a lot of shitty circumstances. So, and I know like a lot of people are out there where they make like big deals about relationships. It's totally normal, like emotions are totally valid. So this happened. Yeah, I trusted both of them because, like, I thought they were like my homies. I thought they were like my friends, my best friends actually. So this literally fucked me up so bad because the dude was like he was like, all of my friends like loved this dude, and his house was like the spot to hang out at, right? Like his house was the spot, like, where there's parties every weekend. His parents don't give a fuck. He's got a cool pool, a hot tub, basketball, whatever. So all my friends fucking love this dude, and they wanted to take my side because they didn't want to like lose the friendship with him. So I was in a position where it's like, fuck, I don't want to be friends with this dude because he's going behind my back. Like, why would I want to be friends with this dude? Like, why would I want that, like, toxicity in my life? And it was just like the whole situation was just so sus. Like, every time I'd hang out with him, I would just overthink and be like, damn, like, what was he saying to, at my time, like, it was like my girl, whatever. I was like, what was he saying to her? And I would just overthink about it heavily. And I let it get to me. I let it fucking like destroy me, basically, to the point where I was like, I couldn't hang out with the dude anymore. And that ruined like my whole summer, my whole senior year summer, because like I was talking to this girl. I didn't want to lose what I had with this girl, and I was believing what she would say over what he would say, because I was in a fucking predicament. I'm like, bro, what do I do? What do I do? So I ended up like believing the girl, so I wouldn't hang out. Like I started beefing with the dude, so I didn't get invited to like anything over the whole summer. All my friends would always go to his house. And my mom had just moved to a city that was like 20 minutes away from Perrysburg. My Perrysburg was like where my high school was, where everything happened. And 20 minutes to a high school was like a fucking long time. Um, so no one really would come to see me. I had like one friend that would come to see me frequently. Other than that, like my friends would, and I didn't have a car at the time either because my dad. So my mom, my dad would let me drive this car. It was a piece of shit car, and it broke down. It cost like $700 to fix it. I didn't fucking have that, but I needed a car, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna spend $700 on a shitty fucking car. I don't even have $700. So my mom got me like this shitty car. It was like $400, and I pulled up to it at my dad's house, and he, I thought it was like us manipulating and taking advantage of him somehow. So he kicked me out of the house because of that. So, and my dad lived like 5 minutes from school, 5 minutes from all my friends. So like it was really nice senior year, like being able to go everywhere. And then my mom's house was cool. It was just 25 minutes away from everybody. So I felt stranded on an island. I didn't have any of my friends with me. None of them would really like a couple of them would come to see me. Ryan, if you're watching this, Ryan would hang out with me all the time. I doubt he's watching this, but he was the realest friend like ever, because he would always come to hang out with me. When all my other friends like chose to like go over there, it was either I was hanging out with Ryan or I was hanging out with that girl. So I just felt so lonely. I just felt so fucking lonely. I literally was stranded on an island. I had too much time on my hands. I didn't know what to do with myself. It caused me to like weaken a lot of my friendships. And I was just like, I think about all that time I had to get in my head, beat myself up, freak out on the girl and be like, what the fuck was that? What happened? Tell me the truth. And like, she would always tell me that she was. And then I'd figure out some more shit. And it was just like, I was so lonely. And then I remember this one day towards the end of my summer, I just broke up with the girl because I couldn't do it anymore. Neither of us could do it anymore. It was so toxic. I couldn't even like look at her without even like thinking about like what the fuck happened with my friend. So I broke up with her and I was just a fucking mess, dude. Because I was so, like I said, she was the only person I had really. Like her and my friend Ryan were like the only two people like I could really go to and like hang out with me that whole summer. And I never really talked about this publicly because I didn't really feel the need to, but I just felt like maybe like this could help you guys and give you guys some perspective, and maybe someone's going through something similar. But yeah, there were times where I was just laying in puddles of my tears, and my mom came up to me and she was like, Alex, you're the only one that's going to be able to help yourself. And I was like, fuck. I guess I'm a lost cause then because I can't help myself. That's literally what my initial thoughts were. But then I sat on the thought more and more and more. And I'm about to go to college at this point too. That's part of the reason why I broke up with a girl, because like I'm going to college. And so I get to college. I'm depressed as fucking shit. I'm literally so depressed. And I was supposed to room with my friend, and then he switched up on me last minute. So I we were literally planned to room together. And then he switched up last minute to room with my other friend, probably because I wasn't there all summer, and they were hanging out all summer, and I just wasn't there because I wasn't invited to anything because of what happened. So they switched up to me. I had a random roommate. My random roommate was actually the most introverted person ever in gay, so it was not a good time for me. I just felt very uncomfortable, and he just wouldn't talk at all, and it was just weird. The weird energy in that room. So it was cool though. I mean, I'd go up to their room and like hang out with them all the time, but then like right when I'd be alone, I'd just be like, damn, bro, like the girls there weren't like, college was nothing that I expected it to be, because I went to a small college. I thought it was gonna be fucking lit. Thought there was gonna be hella parties, hella girls. Not what it was. And I'm going through a toxic breakup, and I'm like, bro, like what the fuck. So it was just an insanely low time in my life. And then my roommate snitched on me for having alcohol in my room. That was fucked. Like, come on, dude. It's college, bro. So then that ended up getting me in trouble with like the school police, and then I actually did shrooms with my friends, um, at college, and that changed so much for me. It opened my eyes to like, I was like, dude, you have so much, because I was always questioning myself. I was like, yo, it's crazy. I went from being like this super confident kid, like this insanely confident, well-rounded, didn't give a fuck kid, to couldn't even look in the mirror anymore. Didn't know who that person was just wondering what the fuck happened. Beginning of senior year, I was on top of the world. End of senior year, I was depressed. I was like 121 pounds, no, 128 pounds, like 4% body fat. I was starving. I forgot to mention the part when my dad kicked me out. I actually lived with one of my friends for like 2 months, maybe like a month and a half, and they didn't really ever have food, and I didn't have money. So I would literally like live off of like a protein shake every day. So that was like, I'll pull up a picture for that too, because I was literally, you could see my muscle fibers in my chest. I mean, I look shredded, but I was not healthy or happy by any means. So yeah, so I ended up doing the shrooms. It opened my eyes to realize, like, bro, like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. You're wasting your potential. Like, you shouldn't be here. You should be out like chasing your dreams. And I'm like, fuck, you're like, I'm right. Like, I need to just make a change. Like, I need to stop forcing myself to do something that I don't want to do. So I took the risk, dropped out, bet on myself, and I never looked back. Like, I never even, like, there were days where I was like, damn, I'm way too young to feel this old, when I was working at my hospital job, when all my friends were at school getting fucked up and doing like stupid schoolwork, and I was like grinding every day, and I was just like questioning everything. I'm like, am I making the right decision? And then when I dropped out, I had no fucking friends either, because everyone was at school and I was working 40 hours a week. So if I wanted to see them, it'd have to be after work. I'd get off of work at 8 p.m. I'd have to go home, get home at like 9:30, shower, change, and then drive 45 minutes to go see them at the college campus. So I was just fucking lonely, man. But thankfully, I found like TikTok, and I like started venting through TikTok, connecting with people, and I just went all in on TikTok while I was doing my hospital job. So I basically distracted myself with work. Like, I would work 40 hours a week, and I would make TikToks at work, go live on TikTok when I got home from work. I'd make merch. My schedule was wake up at 10 o'clock, make a TikTok on the way to work, go to work from noon to 8, make a TikTok sometime in there, get home, or leave work at 8, go to the gym until like 9:30, get home, go live, work on my merch website, maybe make a video within that time, and I'd do that 5 times a week. Literally 5 times a week. So it was like I had to distract myself, or I'd start overthinking. So kept doing that until the point where I got fired from my hospital job, because they didn't like that I was making TikToks at work. They didn't like how I was showing up. They said I was unprofessional, and even though like all the patients loved me, I was super nice and they loved talking to me. They fired me, and I was like, all right, well, I have $4,000 to my name, and I'm going to fucking bet on myself, I guess. So I was insanely uncomfortable. So I had to pay rent, I had to pay for my car, I had to pay for all this shit. And I had no businesses running other than merch, and merch margins are like $12 a hoodie. So I was not by any means financially stable. I was scared, I was petrified, I was lonely. And then quarantine happened. Quarantine was actually nice to me. Quarantine was very nice to me, because I had the opportunity, because I had like 100,000 followers on TikTok. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking go crazy. I'm gonna go absolutely fucking crazy on TikTok. So I did. And I feel like I still feel like I've wasted a lot of potential. I feel like there's a lot of things I could have done better. I feel like I could have driven a lot of more traffic to my Instagram. I feel like I could have driven a lot more traffic to my YouTube over time, but I have to be happy with what I've done. And try to just not waste any more potential. It's my biggest fear, is like wasting potential, because I know I'm in a position to where I could really make a difference, and I really want to. It's just like, how do I get the exposure I need, you know? I'm just trusting the process. I'm really just trusting the process. I'm so grateful for the people that have already found me. But so yeah, I stuck with that. Ended up, my lease was up at my apartment, so me and my brother ended up moving into my mom's house. I was in her basement for probably like 5 months. 5 months, and then I moved to Miami. So in those 5 months, I was like, yo, if you're not making like $10,000 a month by the time you leave your mom's house, you're gonna be homeless. So I put like this imaginary pressure on myself So I was like, dude, like I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to be doing something with myself. I don't want to settle. I don't want to be average. So I just literally would wake up every day at 6:30 and I would just fucking grind. Like I was just so fucking dialed. I don't have any pictures from that time period in my life because I deleted Snapchat. I wasn't taking pictures. All I was doing was posting on TikTok and going live on TikTok. And other than that, I was reading or filming a podcast or just meditate. I was just so fucking dialed. I kind of want to get back to that energy of my life where I was just like, I don't give a fuck about girls. I'm deleting Snapchat. I'm not even answering DMs. I'm just fucking dialed. So it's just crazy. I was just like live on Twitch and I was looking through all my old TikToks and I was reflecting and I'm like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Like I really came from a 1999 GMC truck in a fucking shitty ass apartment to where I am now. I'm just fucking nuts because no one else made it happen but me, you know? Like no one else is gonna make it happen but you, and like there's gonna be people out there that think that like you were handed the life that you're living, but fuck them. Literally fuck them. Only you know what you've had to go through to get here. And all your mental problems, all your circumstances in your life, they're so temporary. They're literally so temporary. And one day you're going to look back on them and be like, wow, that was so insignificant, but it made you into the person that you are today. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking nuts. It's really nuts. Wow. Actually, like, thinking and reflecting on this story really opens my eyes. Because it's so easy for me to forget where I came from, and like for this to feel normal, I could fully break down in tears right now. Because like I just try not to like think about it, you know what I mean? I try not to think about my past, and I try not to like get caught up in that, because the only thing that's real is like right now. So I just try to be present all the time, and like even I was talking to Eric today after we left the beach, and he goes, dude, it still feels so weird for me, and I'm like, yeah, it kind of feels normal for me, and I don't want it to feel normal, you know what I mean? Like I'm a kid from fucking Ohio, and there are times where I feel like I'm too humble, and people all around me tell me that I'm too humble, and I agree. I agree to a certain extent, because like I don't want to be a douche. I don't want to be that cocky guy that flexes all the time. But like I'm a kid from fucking Ohio, bro. I'm a fucking kid that was given nothing, and I believed in myself, and I made it here. And there's no reason why you can't either. You just have to develop your fucking brain and yourself, your personality, your charisma, and you can literally do anything if you just discipline yourself. And I am walking and living proof of that. And I'm not saying like I've accomplished some crazy shit, but I'm living this, I guess. This is some cool shit. I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I guess I'm proud of myself. So see, there's me trying to be humble again, I guess. And trying to stay, like, have some humility and know that there's always more while appreciating what I have. So, yeah, I guess that's a decent recap of my story. Like, yeah. Pretty in depth there. I hope you guys stayed till the end. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know that was 30 minutes long almost, but there was really no way to make that short. There's really no way to make that short if I wanted to get all the details in there. So, I love you guys. I'm excited to read your guys' comments on this one. I'm really excited to read them. So, I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. Like, yeah, and I hope you guys can feel how much I mean it when I say that. So, I love you, and I'll see you in some other video, I guess.